Boppity bop 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 bow. What is up, y'all? Philyfli show checking back in, kicking in here, Right Way Production Studios, like we always do. And this is UFC pay-per-view 305. Dricus du Plessis versus our boy Israel Adesanya. And if you have not watched and betted this week, you should take a little bit of time to do that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but got a little clips and glimpses in just to see how these guys are coming in. And Izzy looks huge, dog. Like he's not like extremely much bigger, but you can tell that he's just been bulking up and working out, and just he looks a little different than the last time we saw Izzy. Last time we saw Izzy, he had muscle, yeah, but he's on the skinnier side. He just looks bigger. It's gonna be a fun fight. We all know what type of house this is, but we're not gonna finish that here. That's a little glimpse into the future. Middleweight championship obviously on the line for these boys, and literally Izzy ends up winning, let's just say, it could shake up the whole thing. It could shake up that whole division, and things could be on hold for a while, and guys just either waiting for title shots or fighting each other to figure out who actually is next in line for title shots. That's what I'm hoping. But we get 12 fights here. It is in Australia, so you're going to see a lot of Aussies on here. Doesn't always mean all the Aussies are going to win. I found that out the hard way in the past when I put my bets down picking a bunch of Aussies. So you just got to look for the gaps, man, what weaknesses, and that's how we do it here at the Philyfli show. It isn't all about, the numbers are coming in here and everything. That's all fine and dandy. We could all do that, and you can take a lot of time and crunch the numbers, or you can go with your gut feeling like I do and put your heart out there on the line. Alrighty, y'all. Let's get it. First match leg number 12 will start in the flyweight division. We got Stuart Nicole versus Jesus Aguilar. Jesus Aguilar plus 190 underdog. Nicole negative 235. Look, up and coming fighters making their UFC debut, especially against any vet. This isn't a full UFC vet. He's only had 4 fights in the UFC, but he's had 4 fights in the UFC, so he's used to this. Whereas this other guy, he could have an adrenaline dump where out of the first round he gets really gassed. It's called an adrenaline dump. If you know, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stuart Nicole, though, knockout specialist. So his last 4 fights have all been finished by KO. I don't think they're all first rounders, but I think they're all finished by KO. I don't think. I know. I just looked it up. They're all finished by KO, but he's facing a guy who's got some good wins, fought some good people. Yeah, he's lost one, but it doesn't really matter. Jesus Aguilar, I think gets the job done. I'm going with the UFC vet here just because it's the flyweight division. And a lot of times, like I said, when these strikers come up that are big name guys, sometimes their first test is a test. And I think he's going to get tested, but only 1 out of 5 on the confidence level that Jesus gets the win there. We'll go to match leg number 11. It's in the welterweight division. We get Song Kenan versus Ricky Glenn. Ricky Glenn, a plus 155 fighter, whereas Song is a negative 185 fighter. Yo, it's Song all day. His MMA skill set's going to be way too much for Ricky Glenn. Ricky Glenn, I don't know what it is, but his last 2 fights, he just did not look like the guy I thought he could potentially be. And Song's just going to rip him apart. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that Song gets his hand raised after that fight. Now, match leg number 10 is the biggest favorite on this card. It is a lightweight fight between Tom Nolan and Alex Reyes. Alex Reyes is a plus 700 underdog, whereas Tom Nolan's negative 1,300. Woo! Negative 1,300, man. To me, it's a little closer than that, but I get why the odds makers are doing it. Tom has just he's not been tested much yet. So, Alex, for him to test him, it will be a lot, but it wouldn't fully surprise me, but it'd be a surprise. Not like a big old scare, like a 10 out of 10, but a good 3 or 4 if he got his hand raised after that fight. So I'm going Tom Nolan 4 out of 5 on the confidence level that he gets his hand raised and gets the job done. All right, match like number 9 is a featherweight fight between Jack Jenkins and Herbert Burns. Herbert Burns on plus 475, Whereas Jack Jenkins, -800, dog. -800, yo. That is crazy. But, hey, Herbert just hasn't shown enough to me to be an elite scared of fighter. He hasn't got guys to back off him when they're pushing him against the cage. His grappling isn't as strong as I thought it would be when he came in. But he's a learning project, so at any moment, all of a sudden, the click of the button could go. But I don't see that happening here. Jack Jenkins gets a good W here. Pick that -800, put it on some parlays. I know people say that's a dumb move, but if you don't think the guy's going to lose, well, how is it a dumb move? I just don't think he's going to lose. I just don't. I just don't. 3 out of 5 on the comments below. Jack gets his hand raised after that fight. All right, we'll switch to, let me look. This is the only female fight of the night, so let's get it. It's a flyweight female fight. We get Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos. Luana Santos -140, whereas Casey O'Neill is a +120 underdog. So pretty close to a pick'em. You could go Casey all day. You could go Luana. It's your choice. I'm going Luana Santos here. Mainly because that girl has got some game that has she's been fire to watch. Good fights every time. Casey has fought some stiff competition and got some good wins, so it would not surprise me if she gets a win either. 1 out of 5, though, on the confidence level that Luana Santos gets her hand raised. All right. Featherweight bout next between Josh Coolbout and Ricardo Ramos. Man, Ricardo Ramos +130, Josh Coolbout -125. They say this fight's going to be really close. Josh will get on the gas tank in the first round, and by the third round happening, you can see that he's losing it in the gas tank area. It is until the effect where he gets super fit. Well, he kind of does, but he's faced some stiff competition, and it's not. He's a good fighter, but if in that first minute and a half, if it looks like at all that he's just going for it, it's a troubling fight if it goes the distance and where he could lose. But Ricardo Ramos on the other end, look, man, he's a great fighter. He's got some good skill sets, but something happens where he takes a strike and then he gets just KO'd bad or finished, and it ends bad. And I'm thinking it's gonna be good because those hands of Josh Coolbout, that's probably what he's gonna go for and go for broke like he usually does. And that's a bad night for Ricardo Ramos if he gets clipped at all. I'm going Josh Coolbout here. 3 out of 5 on the confidence that he gets his hand raised. I just see it going, man. See him getting those hands on him, and it's been bad for Ramos. Bad. All right. Featured prelim bout should not be a featured prelim bout. I'm sorry, boys and girls. I am dogging you. I never dog the UFC, but what? I know Justin Toff Junior Toff was a fan favorite, but Justin's the better fighter. Why is Justin not fighting here on this card? That's frustrating. Junior, man, you shouldn't be featured prelim. But I'm thinking they like Walter Walker, so it is Junior Toff versus Walter Walker in the heavyweight division, -125 on Justin Toff of Walter Walker, +105. Yo, I don't like heavyweight fights, but I also I've not liked everything I've seen from Junior. It's been a roller coaster. He's had some good, yes, but the bad, it's just bad in my eyes, and I think Walter Walker is going to get the better of him. 1 out of 5, though, on a confidence level that Walter Walker gets his hand raised. Oh, it hurts, man. Why does that one got to be the featured prelim bout? You could have easily did Josh Coolbout, Ricardo Ramos. Easily. Love that fight way more. All right, y'all. Done complaining. On to the main card here, where we all gotta pay money or start streaming, if you know what I mean. Matchup number 5 is a welterweight fight between the Leech, Li Jiang, and Carlos Parates, and +290 on the Leech. Carlos -390. I didn't fully agree with those odds, but the Leech does not look like the old school Leech. It kind of seems like Father Time's catching up with him. We'll see if he gets a little bit of youth in him against this fight, but I say Carlos picks him apart. 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that Carlos gets his hand raised. Dun 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 dun. All right, match like number 4 is gonna be a banger. This is one of those fights that you do not miss, guys. Do please, 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 do not miss this fight. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Now, Rozenstruik went on a great tear, got to a title shot, failed at the title shot, and then got knocked out really bad by Francis Ngannou and just never didn't look the same for a good amount of fights. And now all of a sudden he's got this resurgence. You see him use a little bit more wrestling tactic, but try to just get you on the back foot and then goes at you with the striking. I mean, that's how he's beaten the last couple guys. But here's the thing, man. You're fighting a brawler in Tai Tuivasa, the shoey guy, the guy who drinks the beer from the shoe, you know? Yeah, that guy. He goes in there and he will let you walk forward and he's going to hit you with a flipping haymaker. And it's not an easy shot to take. But the downside on that is if you fight a good striker is just going to tear you apart. And Jairzinho Rozenstruik can do that, but I don't see that happening. I see Ty going in there, biting down on that mouth guard and getting his hand raised in a big victory. All right, Rozenstruik negative 220 favorite. Ty Tuivasa plus 180. Pick him on knockout. You're going to get it way in the above plus 200 range. Let's go. Let's make some money, boys and girls. Put an extra side bet on that one on a single bet, and let's roll the dice and get the dub. I do. Well, it is heavyweight, so I put 1 out of 5 on the confidence level because, you know, anybody can go to sleep, especially at this heavyweight division. All right, match leg number 3 is another don't miss fight. My reasoning for don't miss isn't because it's going to be a guaranteed full-on banger. Actually, it is. It's just sometimes Dan Hooker gets beat by guys that are better than him or wrestlers, which is his downfall, but he's worked on that. He is super worked on that. You can tell this is going to be still a good fight for us. Matus Gamrot versus Don the Hangman Hooker. Gamrot negative 350 favorite. Dan Hooker plus 265 underdog. I want to go Dan so bad. I'm rooting for Dan. I'm even rooting for my bet to lose on this one. But I picked Gamrot because I think the wrestling and grappling is going to be too much for Dan Hooker. I know he's learned. I know he's worked on it. The only way he wins this fight is knocking this dude out badly. And if he doesn't, it's going to be a long night for him. Luckily, it's a 3-round fight, so he can use his energy and his gas tank to get there. And then if he does, if Dan Hooker wins this fight, give him one of those 4 dudes that he's been asking for, and you would know exactly what I'm talking about, UFC. Let's go. All right, co-main event, flyweight bout. This is my favorite fight of the night that isn't the main event. Okay, the main event is my favorite fight of the night because it's my top 5 favorite fighter of all time in Israel Adesanya. But here, one of my favorites is fighting. I'm not going to be rooting against him. I'd be betting against him, unfortunately. So we're going to say it here. Flyweight bout between Kai Kara-France and Steve Ercik. Ercik just got a title fight. Could have won that fight. Gas tank kind of went out. He kind of went out and failed to win that fight. But he'll be back up there. Fighting a guy like Kai Kara-France is going to get him back up there. Now Kai gets a big win over here over this guy who just fought for a championship. He's going to be next in line for a title shot. He was so close before. Got beat by Brandon Moreno, and that's just how it goes sometimes. All right, Kai Kara-France plus 140. Steve Ercik negative 170. I'm going Steve here. It's a Kai Kara-France house, but I just think Steve's skill set's going to be too much. I think he's going to be too big for Kai to get in there, and that's where Kai has struggled. No, I'm wrong. Kai gets on the inside and hits him with a banger. Nighty, night, night. But that I don't see happening. I think Steve Ercik's going to use the distance and do what he needs to do to win the fight here. All right, last one of the evening, boys and girls. Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya. Negative 105 on du Plessis. Negative 115 on Adesanya. Doesn't surprise me. Adesanya gets the little bit of the edge there, but it's essentially just a pick 'em. Money's going to be coming in. By the start of the fight, Izzy could be underdog. By the start of the fight, Dricus could be underdog. That's just how it goes with the live betting like that. You know, I've already kind of hinted at who I think is going to win, but this fight is literally going to be determined, though, on if Dricus goes for takedowns, and grapples. He did that against Rob. He's done that against other fighters. He gets him a little bit tired and hits you with a shot and puts your lights out. We've seen it with Izzy. That is his downfall. That is his kryptonite. But man, with that muscle being put on, I just feel like Izzy's going to be the aggressor right from the start, or try to be. And if he hits him with a shot, he's precise, man. You see what he did to Alex? Man, that could happen to you, Dricus. And that's what the Philly Flyhouse is going to be rooting for on Saturday night with a Israel Adesanya back in the win house, wins, and instantly fights Sean Strickland and gets that W back too, man. He needs to get that W back. I think he can beat Sean. And let's go. Let's get the rematch. And hey, man, shout out to Right Way Production Studios for always making this happen. And you know what? We will see you soon, y'all. I'm not going to keep saying see you next week because I've took a couple weeks off here the last week. Bad card one of the weeks. The other one I had a technical difficulty and couldn't get my stuff to work. So we will see you as soon as possible. And shout out and share this with your homies. Peace out. This is for the Average Joes and the Philly Fly Show. We'll see you soon.